Hey guys, welcome back. Look what I have for you, an unboxing video. This has arrived today from Dennis from Protone pedals. And well, it already feels like it has a lot of packaging in there. So let's open it up. Let's have a look at what it looks like on the inside. Scissors. Yeah, needless to say, I live in the UK, so this pedal traveled a fair bit. It came from Somerville, not sure where that is, from the United States. There's a lot of packaging on the inside, these things. And then there's a box, trying not to make a mess. By the way, you've probably seen there's a cat roaming around, so you might find this really interesting at some point. Now, for example, now is probably a good time for the cat to find this really interesting. I'm trying not to leave these out, although it would probably be an awesome toy for the cat. Him. But yeah, I don't really feel like cleaning it up. So yeah, there's nothing else in there. There's a lot of this stuff. The bag was pretty much full of it. Look at this. I can barely hold all of it in my hand, so it was very well packaged. Box seems intact. Doesn't look like it took a hit. It says Protone pedals here. Beautiful. Not even sure how they did this. Looks printed. Pretty basic box, but hey, it does the job. It looks like it opens from here. Don't want to break it. No, actually it opens this way. Yep. There we go. What do we have here? Protone presents user beware 9-volt negative tip. Okay. Cool. Some cards. Does it look like trading cards? Ricky Rocket. Poison. This is really weird. These look like Mars Attacks cards. Tangier. Gary Knott. What the hell? Another one of these. I'm gonna have a good read of these, but it looks like the pedal comes with some trading cards. Random. Clown's Best Friend. Some nice artwork sticker. This is probably gonna go in my amp box. And yes, Kitty has found the packaging. Kitty wants the packaging now. Bad idea. Now inside of the box, the magical box, let the kitty go, kitty go. There's the pedal. There is the pedal. Comes with a cloth. I'm guessing it soaks up moisture and hits should the box take any more. So again, bit of nice packaging. And here's the pedal. Tiny bit dusty. I'm guessing they don't do the outer casings and the assembly at the same time, so some of the cases probably are sitting on a shelf for a week or two before they assemble everything. Quality wise, really chuffed. I mean, the potentiometers are nice and smooth. They feel really nice. Switches are good quality. I mean, that's a standard switch, but these seem to be pretty good quality. I was a bit worried about how the artwork would look live, because online, yeah, you probably, yeah, that was easy to predict. I am going to throw this out. Give me a second. Yeah, I sure as hell don't want to clean that up. So I was worried that the artwork would look dodgy in reality, because obviously online you're looking at a... Oh, seriously? That's cat next to the bin. Cat wants packaging. Oh yes, packaging, give me packaging. We're going to ignore him now. So online you can only find small resolution pictures of this. Okay, you can see Misha demonstrating the pedal in high resolution. But I wasn't sure how... maybe it looks dodgy in reality, and I have to say I'm really chuffed with it. It looks really nice. It looks like it's been printed somehow. I'll try to have the camera pick this up. It's not a sticker. It's not some sort of like layer. Like I have the Deluxe squeeze pedal from Rothwell. It's an amazing compressor. These seem to be a bit loose, weirdly enough. We'll just tighten them up. Not a biggie. And the Rothwell Love Squeeze pedal has the artwork pretty much on a sticker on top of the box. But then again, it's just a box. It's an aluminum casing. Kind of looks like it's been a tiny bit beaten up already, some of the corners, but hey, we don't care about that. We care about the quality of the electronics and how it sounds. But yeah, the artwork looks really nice. I'm happy. I am happy. I'm gonna plug it in a sec and see what it sounds like. For now, I'm running a basic Maxon there for the Overdrive. I got a few different amps. I got a macro amp for the that's my real head, but I'm also working on making another rig, and right now that's the one running at this point. I'll give you a quick rundown at some point. So yeah, I'm gonna try and plug this in a minute and replace that with this and see what that sounds like. Hey guys, I'm testing my new Protone pedals. Actually, I'm gonna put this on standby for now. Sorry for the coughing, I'm a bit sick. Okay, I'm using the new Protone pedals Bulb Deluxe Overdrive. Testing it. By the way, I just realized I might be covering the mic. And I'm sorry, I don't have any proper equipment to record videos or audio. I have this mobile phone, and hopefully this should be good enough to give you an idea. But I'll be commenting what I hear, and hopefully that'll all make sense, and it'll be a useful video for you as well. Here's my signal chain. Tuner to a compressor with a very mild compression, as you can see. That goes straight to the Protone, which I've been faffing around with the settings. I mean, the previous part of the video was about 3 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago, so I do not by any means know what all the buttons do or how they do it. So I'm gonna figure this out as I go, and as you will as well with me. Now that goes into the Bogner accessory, which I absolutely love, and the only reason this is here is because I play lots of different styles, and that's a very versatile pedal and a very responsive pedal. When I play metal, I don't actually use that, except for when I play leads. Then it's nice to have a bit of grime and a bit more sustain, because otherwise the rest of the circuit is quite unforgiving. The noise gate set pretty high, yeah, and then from here it's going to the noise gate, the ISP decimator G string. Maxon is not connected now. That's the settings I've been using so far. It's a box standard Maxon. Trusty old, love it, was amazing, been using it for years. Now all of this is running into the Macrochamp custom Hatred amp. Now this is not a very well known amp, it's quite rare, and actually this one is, there's just one of these. I made the front panel for it. You might see a video or two of Ola England testing this or the newer ones. he had to change his name, so this is one of the first he's done. The guy is called, he's calling himself Makosh, hence Makosh Amp. But there's a company called Mako Amps, I believe, in the US that weren't happy with the name being too close. So now he's called Chaos Amp, spelled K-O-A-S, like that. Same font, same everything, same looks. Very good, trusty hand-wired point-to-point amps. And this one is quite a complicated one. It has 4 channels and they've all been voiced to my specifications. We are now on channel 4, which demonstrated by those 2 LEDs, which is like a gent-ish channel. Obviously most people who purchase this pedal are looking for a gent-ish tone, so I guess that's probably a good place to start. And maybe look at the controls there and then tweak, go to another channel here. Look at the versatility of this pedal, maybe see what sort of things you can do with it. So here we go. I have like a tripod for this camera. I'm gonna put it on the table next to me as such. Hopefully you can see that I'm changing settings there. Unfortunately the inclination is maxed out, so I can't put it any lower than that. Otherwise the whole tripod would just fall forward and you probably don't want to see the amp. I mean, you probably would like to see the amp, but I'm not going to change anything on there. And yes, I have a G major, but that's not plugged in. So right now we're just running the amp dry, straight signal, pedal board to the amp, to the cab, and done. That's it, nothing too fancy. So, sorry. What am I playing? I'm playing one of these. Let's hope the camera can pick it up. This is a 72 Tele Deluxe, and you've seen me do another video of this, so if you want to know more about this guitar, you can find out in the video. What's really important here is that it has bare knuckle aftermath pickups, which I believe Misha was using in the beginning of his, well, fame, I guess, if I can call it. Well, he is famous. Anyway. Now he has his own pickups, and before he was using the Black Hawks, but at the very beginning, the first videos he was doing, he was using these, as far as I remember. So, bare knuckle aftermath with the Misha Mentor Overdrive. Let's try the signal without first. I'm gonna switch it off, switch the amp back on, this, and switch the tuner off. So now what you can hear is the amp's sound. I'm tuned to drop B. Let's hear it. Yeah, so what you hear now is the amp alone with the compressor. The compressor isn't really doing anything to the tone, it just adds a bit of sustain and rounds up the tone. Well, it's hard to put it into words. You really can only know what a compressor does when you play one. It changes more how the guitar feels rather than your tone. Helps to have really long sustain, which is now being cut off by my noise suppressor. Yay! But I can always put this on, as I said. You probably can't see that I just switched the Bogner Ecstasy on to have a bit more sustain. There you go. Anyway, so that's my tone. All I have is a compressor and a noise gate to the amp, done. Now let's switch the pedal on. So have a look at the settings. What I have, volume maxed out, tone pretty much maxed out, drive 0, diode switched off. That changes how the distortion part of the pedal works. Yeah, I'm recording with my phone, as you can tell. So because the drive potentiometer is now on 0, that's not going to change anything. And then there's an attack switch, which, as far as I can hear, well, it's on now, but as far as I can hear what it does, it takes away some of the low end and increases the pick attack bit. So again, without, with. I'm not demoing my guitar skills, that's not why we're here, we're trying to listen to the pedal. Really aggressive attack this pedal has. And that was all on the bridge pickup. Let's go to the neck pickup. Again, it's an aftermath. Nothing hugely different to the previous one. It's just it's a neck position. Off key. Anyway, a very unforgiving pedal in terms of it wants you to pick really hard, and as soon as you do, it's insanely precise, especially with the attack switch on. I find it's like a razor blade, really sharp, much sharper than the Maxon. The Maxon was quite forgiving. It had a huge range of tones that it could provide, but this one is quite a bit over the top in comparison to the Maxon. It's a lot more, but then again, you're paying a lot more money for it, and you want it to do more. So let's go through the settings a bit. I'm going to switch the attack switch off. See the difference there. Yay, popping. Back to bridge pickup. Just chuggy, palm muting, drop B stuff. Attack switch on. The attack switch has tightened up the bottom end, decreased the sustain, and made the top end, the attack, a bit different, a bit more prominent. I can try the diode switching, but I have a feeling it's not going to do anything, or it shouldn't at least. It's off, it's on. Yeah, hardly any difference. The potentiometer is completely on zero. Not much happening there. There's really not much difference with the diode clipping at this point. Let's have a look at the tone and the volume potentiometers, what they do. So I'll just chug away. Volume's on maximum. I'll bring it down first and then I'll bring it back up. And tone is almost maximum. It's around 4 o'clock-ish right now. Again, I'll do the same thing, and I'll go all the way with the tone as well. I'll show you what that does. And I'm really hoping the mic doesn't clip. I'm really hoping it'll be able to pick up the nuances, the differences, and you'll be able to hear it yourself. So there we go, volume. The low end sort of kicks in around 3 o'clock of that potentiometer. Before it sounds a lot thinner, and when there's hardly any signal, the noise suppressor was cutting the signal out, so you could only hear, well, it sounded crap. Afterwards, it's really, to me at least, it sounds really good as soon as the low end kicks in, and that's after 3 o'clock-ish on that knob. So, tone knob. that really gentish sound comes in when you max that potentiometer out all the way out. It becomes this. It has a very specific attack to it, which hopefully you heard. It's a bit too much for me. I dialed it back a tiny bit, but it's amazing. I mean, it's for what most people would be buying this pedal for. It's that sound. It's a bit too harsh for me. I prefer it a bit round a bit here. Anyway, let's switch the amp up a bit. Let's go to my third channel, which is like I'll just switch that off for now. It's like a PV5150-ish tone. Not much gain, by the way. Here the gain controls the previous channel. My gain's there. Now I'm here pretty much the same amount of gain, but the gain structure is a bit different. It sounds a bit different. And this channel has a lot more low end. So let's see what it does with that kind of a tone. Back up. Hopefully you can hear on the camera that I have a lot more low end now. Unfortunately, I'm sitting way too close to the amp, so you get a lot of hiss and feedback. But then again, that's just one noise suppressor on, and it's not even on all the way. Could be noisier. Not much. Anyway, let's just jam for now. The pedal's off, and my phone's about to run out of battery. Might have to do this review in 2 bits. So pedal's off. So that's just the amp. Pedal on. Same settings as I had before where I left it. Unfortunately, my signal is quite noisy. I might need to up the noise suppressor a bit. Now with the same settings, I retain my low end. Maybe a little bit less low end, but it's a lot tighter. And let's try neck pickup. Haha, fail. Anyway, that probably sounded shit as well. Anyway, it's quite a clear pedal. I can still hear if I'm playing a chord. You can still hear all of the notes ring out nicely. You know what? I'm gonna switch the attack switch off because to my taste it's a tiny bit too much attack. So let's try It sounds a bit better that way. I would still need to play around with it to see what it's capable of. Let's see how it reacts on the neck pickup with a bit of Bogner Ecstasy Love. So now we got the sustains really nicely. Let's switch the pedal on. That's for the Bogner. The Misha Menster pedal's been on all the time. I lose a bit of clarity, but I get a lot of sustain. Probably should dial the gain on the ecstasy down a bit. It's not usually what I use it for. Let's see what I do use these things for. I'm gonna switch the bulb pedal off, the Protone pedal, and let's go to the clean channel. That's my first channel. I am now completely clean. That's as clean as these pickups go, really. And this, again, there's nothing but the compressor and the noise gate. So it has a bit of distortion. The output of these pickups is actually pretty high, so I can't get really clean with this. Let's switch the Bogner Ecstasy on, just the first stage of it. God, I love this pedal. The clean channel with the Bogner Ecstasy distortion on, but only the normal distortion. I'm gonna switch the boost on as well. I'll leave the pedal. Actually, I'm going to switch the pedal off altogether and get the bulb pedal on. So right now it should only be boosting my volume. Again, clean signal. It should only be boosting my volume, really, which it does a lot. And that's the distortion's not even on now. It's just the volume potentiometer is maxed out. Sounds pretty good. Maybe not enough low end, but then again I have the tone pretty much all the way to the bright side of it. Let's try the distortion of this pedal. Let's see what the distortion sounds like on its own. And I got 10% battery left. Yay! Distortion. It's now maxed out. Yeah, that's way too much. I'm gonna dial it down to 12 o'clock. Sounds nice. I'm not sure what I should compare it to. It's similar to the distortion that you would find on the Max, and obviously they're both the same type of pedals. Let's try with the attack switch on. I'll just leave it at 12 o'clock for the drive. I was muting, sorry. Bit of Bigsby love. Yeah. Anyway, sounds a bit thin to my taste. It's an interesting distortion, and if I was to use, let's say, the second setting on my amp with the low gain second channel and then boost it with that, would be an interesting combination. Let's have a look at the diode clipping now. I'm gonna put a bit more distortion just so that we can really hear the differences here. Actually, let me plug my phone on charger while I'm at it before the video cuts out. Sorry. There we go. Now the cable's too heavy, so the phone leans to the right. Tripods for the win. There we go. So distortion's at 3 o'clock now, and diode clipping on. Sounds a tiny bit different, not an awful lot of difference. Feels like it's a tiny bit tighter when it's on, and maybe loses a tiny bit of low end, but it's a really minute difference there. Let's see what it does. I'm gonna get the gain off, attack switch off again. So we're back on the clean setting. Let's see what it does to the Bogner pedal. I'm only gonna go to the first stage of the Bogner pedal. There's no point having, oh, who knows, whatever. That's the first stage of the Bogner pedal. And by the way, these are, I'm plugged in, I can't go any closer. I can try to focus on it. If anybody can see my settings, good luck. Anyway, so that's the Bogner pedal on now. The Protone one is off. There's a nice round distortion, this one. Not really meant for metal. I usually use this with my Strat. But hey, for the purposes of trying what the Protone can do, why not? Why not? Black pickup. Yeah, bridge. Coil split. Back to full humbucking, and let's have a look at the Protone. Without. It has basically turned it into metal. Without the distortion on, without the attack switch on, without the diode switch, which obviously doesn't do anything now. It's just the volume and the tone, and it's just so bloody tight. It's like I feel like an 80s metal sound. Fail. On my end, at least. The pedal's awesome. What happens if I put the full-on boost onto the Bogner Ecstasy with this pedal? Without? Becomes a bit hairy. But boy, it sings. It's a lot of distortion though. More of an old school sound with that, but it's interesting how you can do that as well with. So versatility wise, I'd say not very versatile. It's really aimed at metal, djent, and all of the rest. I mean, the least you can do with it is just use it on a clean channel. Yeah, but then again, I'm using these humbuckers. You know what? I'm gonna try it with a Strat as well, just to see what it does with the Strat. But if that's your metal settings and then you go switch all the distortion off the amp, you still get